There we go, Manchester United. That is more like it. Hey everyone, it is Finn here. That is FYNN, and I hope you guys do enjoy my content. If you're new here, I always review every single Manchester United game, except for the one against Arsenal coming up in the next week or two, because I am going away. But other than that, I do that and weekly Premier League predictions. You guys can check that in the comment section down below, or in my description. I'll link my weekly Premier League predictions where I predict all the results. And I do want to say, Manchester United, I panicked when you conceded that first goal, because I'm like, you know what, we're going to lose to another bottom table team. But you know what, we ended up winning, and it's quite sad because Newcastle are technically in the top 10, so we haven't really beat or gotten points from any of the bottom 10 teams in quite a long time. And I want to say, Manchester United, you guys were very impressive with the way that you did come back today. And my question of the video to all you guys watching this is, do you think Mason Greenwood will become a better striker than Marcus Rashford? Debate that in the comment section down below. I'm interested to see your guys' opinion on that. But yeah, let me review this game and tell you guys what I really do think about it. This time last year, we were 5 points better than we are now, which means we were doing better last season at this stage than now. But the difference is I see so much more ambition in this team than the team from last year. We are younger, we are hungrier, we have more ambition, and I'm so excited to see what this team does, because we really just need that consistency. That's Manchester United's huge problem, and that's what we really do need to improve. Scott McTominay did break the record in the Premier League for the fastest ever booking, which, I mean, it was a bit of a soft tackle, but you know what, it's a record he now has. The first player I will review is David De Gea in the goalkeeper position. It is a pity because he could not have stopped that goal. It was not his fault. Therefore, his confidence probably did drop because he didn't really have anything to do for the rest of the game, and he conceded an early goal. So hopefully his confidence hasn't dropped even more, but maybe United should play Romero in the Burnley game just to give De Gea a tiny bit of a rest, and because it would be interesting to see Romero back in the starting lineup in the Premier League just for a game. But I do have to say, when De Gea did have the ball for a goal kick, I'm glad that he did keep possession. He did do short passes to Maguire or Lindelof. Instead of just kicking the ball up, I think the possession really did play a huge part in this game. Right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, amazing game. I've always said that I think he's a great defender and he does need to work on his attack. He got an assist today that met Marcus Rashford's head perfectly for that header. I mean, Aaron Wan-Bissaka had a next to perfect game, especially after giving away a penalty in the previous game. I have to say, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, that was an amazing performance from you. You really did some superb marking. When it came to your marking, you're very smart with your decision, because I have said previously that you do struggle with your marking, but today I thought you were perfect. You really kept on to the Newcastle players, because Newcastle can be very, very fast and tricky to get past. But at the same time, I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka did everything he had to do, and this was a top performance from him. Maybe Lindelof could have done better with marking so that we couldn't have conceded that first goal, which, by the way, Matty Longstaff, only 2 Premier League goals, both against Manchester United. That is very embarrassing for us, but a great achievement from him. But Lindelof could have done a bit of better marking with him. But I'm very happy after his mistake that he did have against previous games, where he has made quite a few mistakes. I'm really glad that his confidence hasn't dropped, that he really still had some great confidence moments, because that confidence is really key to him being a really good player. And if he wants to be a starting centre-back and prevent United from buying another centre-back, he needs to keep that confidence up. And I think Lindelof had a very good game. He could have done a bit better with his marking, but otherwise I think he had a good game. Harry Maguire, I feel like almost does no wrong. I feel like he is one of the most experienced players and one of the smartest players on the ball. He almost seems to do no wrong. The only criticism I have for him is I feel like the goal was heavily his mistake. Not fully his mistake, but I think he did have a huge role. I think his marking was poor, his positioning was poor. He should have been marking the man. He should have been marking better during that situation. But we did concede that goal. But otherwise, I think Harry Maguire had a great shot towards the end of the game that almost went in, which would have been amazing. Had some great headers that did deflect and go away. But otherwise, I think Maguire had a great game. His passing was superb, and I think he was very composed. Once again, I always feel like Harry Maguire is very composed. The marking he could have worked on, but other than that, I think Harry Maguire had a good game. I think Luke Shaw had a great game. I'm so happy to see him. I heard the commentators talk about how for the last 3-4 years he should have been England's main left back, and it's a pity that he isn't. I wish that Luke Shaw I wish he had better luck with his injuries, because purely injury-wise, other than that, he would be England's starting left back because he is so amazing. He really is good at stopping the ball, really just analyzing the game and making the perfect decision. I find he's great when it comes to running up and down the field because he is very fast. He always makes really good decisions. He really has improved his positioning as well. And he, in my opinion, was the one who created that goal for Martial, his first goal. I think he created that, and it was beautiful to watch him create that game because he is the perfect modern day fullback, in my opinion, and he has developed into that. It wasn't a natural gift for him, but he has developed it more and more. And it's like what I see in Brendan Williams when Brendan Williams plays for Manchester United, but except he lacks that experience. That is what Luke Shaw has. Getting into the midfield, we did talk about Scott McTominay. I did talk about the fact that he did get that yellow card, but past that, it was a bit soft. But I still think that Scott McTominay had a very good game. He made some really strong tackles. Did look injured at first, but I think past that, he did improve quite a lot. But I was quite worried that he would be injured or that he would get a red card. I think it was a correct decision to take him off and put Paul Pogba on at halftime. But otherwise, Scott McTominay, really, I'm glad that even when he has a yellow card, he still goes all or nothing. And those are the kind of players we need. Although they're risking a red card, I'd rather have that happen than them just let a player run past them. Andreas Pereira did make some sloppy mistakes, as he usually does, did waste some chances, but he did win quite a few fouls, and his assist was just top-notch. I think that was 100% the correct decision, and that is the kind of first-team Manchester United kind of mindset that you do need to be in that team. That assist was very good from Pereira, and I think he had a really good game. I think it's one of his better games this season. He still has a lot to step up to, but I think it was one of his better games. Along with that, Andreas Pereira also had a very close free kick that almost went in. It was a very good kick, and it actually reminded me a bit of that Toni Kroos one from the 2018 World Cup, and it was very good. I think Pereira can leave the field proud today, definitely. Mason Greenwood, or should I say Robin van Persie. Wow, that was such an impressive game today from Mason Greenwood. I mean, really, honestly, like Robin van Persie. I mean, his shooting was amazing. His assists were amazing. Well, not his assists, but his passing. I think Mason Greenwood looks so promising. As I said, I think he could really just turn even better than Marcus Rashford, which is a lot to say. But he's just such a natural talent, Mason Greenwood, and I think he's got a lot to offer Manchester United still. I did skip in the midfield. Fred, I just wanted to mention, I love Fred, how aggressive he can be on the game, how intense he is. He just never stops. He is a running engine. We didn't see that last season, but I think he is one of the most improved players for Manchester United this season. Always makes good tackles, always slows the ball down, and he always knows what the correct decision is. He really is improving. I mean, he could get a few more goals, but I actually think he is so many miles ahead of what Matic was to Manchester United. I'm glad we have Fred in that team because he also has that pace, and he really does get up and down that field very fast and very well. Marcus Rashford, I think Marcus Rashford had a very good game. He did waste quite a lot of chances, but his goal was that's exactly the kind of goal he needs to start getting. I think he's been in top form this season, his best season by far number-wise, and it's only halfway through the season. Marcus Rashford can leave that field very, very proud. I did think it was a bit of a weird one, bringing Lingard on place for Marcus Rashford. To be honest, I would have loved to see what Daniel James could have done against that tied Newcastle defense. I think Daniel James could have gotten a good 2-3 assists, maybe even a goal. I think I would have liked to see Daniel James instead of Jesse Lingard come on. But at the end of the day, Jesse Lingard didn't do too bad. I'll get onto him in a second. But otherwise, Marcus Rashford had that free kick, did hit the wall, but could have gone in. Otherwise, Marcus Rashford did have a good game. Anthony Martial, I did think in the beginning he did drop quite a lot and dropped unnecessarily. I think he should have gone up more. But wow, Martial had an amazing performance. I'm so happy with him. Almost got a hat-trick, which I don't know why Solskjaer took him off, because the last player to score a league hat-trick for Manchester United was Robin van Persie years and years ago, and Martial was so close, it just hit the post. I would have kept him on. I wouldn't have brought Juan Mata on, but Martial, I think you can definitely leave that game so proud. I mean, that first goal was beautiful. Dubravka did make a mistake to get that though, and I mean, I just think Martial was just showed that he can be a really good Premier League striker when he isn't lazy, because we all know Martial can be lazy at times, and this time I think Martial showed when he works hard, he can be a fantastic striker. Just talking about the subs quick, Paul Pogba came on, he looked so happy. I always talk about the fact that I hope Paul Pogba wants to stay at Manchester United, because if Paul Pogba wants to leave Manchester United, he definitely could. The only problem is United need to compete to get to that Champions League position in that top 4, because Paul Pogba, we saw that quality today. He is not a Europa League kind of player. I think Paul Pogba had a fantastic game when he did play, really composed and made some great tackles. I mean, everything he does has so much purpose in it, and you can see he practices and you can see he plays to the best of his ability. I love watching Paul Pogba. I think he had a great game and really almost scored quite a few chances. He is still getting into his mindset that he used to before the injury, but otherwise I think Paul Pogba should be very happy with the impact that he made in the second half. It is also Paul Pogba's 150th league appearance for Manchester United, and I'm sure he's very happy with the win that he did get. Jesse Lingard didn't do too much for Manchester United, but I'm not going to go on about him too much because he also didn't really make any major mistakes. Therefore, I'm not going to go too much on about him because he did make some very good passes. Juan Mata came on. I thought Juan Mata coming on was a weird one. I would have brought on Daniel James, as I said. But at the end of the day, Juan Mata had some amazing passes, had some amazing lob passes, and really did some sort of passes that you would actually expect from Paul Pogba. So I think, although Mata not the fastest player, I think he should be very proud of some chances that he did create coming off the bench. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Once again, if you do like Premier League and Manchester United comments, do subscribe to this channel. Help me reach 280 subscribers before the end of this year. But otherwise, I love every single one of you. Well done, Manchester United. You can be very proud of your 4-1 win. Everyone, this is Finn, FYWN. Love every single one of you. Stay awesome. Cheers.